GTA Online is an old game, and just to give you some perspective here, the heist update was the first major DLC of its kind, and that was over 10 years ago in March of 2015. I know some friends from college who used to play this game back then, and now they're all grown up with kids. However, believe it or not, GTA Online is still gaining new players every single day, both on PC and console, despite GTA 6 being on the horizon later this year, or at least that's what Rockstar tells us for right now. Who knows when it'll actually be finished. Anyway, if you're one of those new guys or gals watching this video, shout out to you, and thanks for supporting the channel. Plus, you're in the right place, because in today's video, I'm about to give you 12 tips and tricks that will help you, as a new player, absolutely dominate others in GTA Online, whether it's PvP skills or the ability to grind lots of money in-game really fast. I'm about to condense over a decade of information learned through personal experience into 12 quick and easy to learn tips that anyone can follow and immediately implement within the game. Like, for example, how you can chain the Cluck and Bell farm raid and No Way Out heist right from the start of the game to earn your first $1 million within 3 hours of playing. And the good news is that it only gets faster from there, because with the skippable cutscenes on subsequent replays of them and the familiarity that you gain in terms of enemy spawn points and route optimization, you can easily do either of these heists in under 1 hour, even with a cheap bike like the Batty 801. Both of these heists also go down even further to under 40 to 45 minutes once you have an HSW Hakucho drag. For all you new players out there, I recommend a simple combo of Cluck and Bell plus No Way Out, precisely because it costs you $0 from the beginning. You don't have to buy any properties to access either of these heists. They're both right there on your minimap from rank 1, and you earn about $1.1 million in total, which is more than enough to buy all your core weapons and some of the vehicles that you'll need to grind missions, like for example, the armored Kuruma. Then, by chaining these heists together a few more times, you'll have more than enough cash to buy a few businesses within your first 2 or 3 days of playing GTA Online. And for my next tip here, I ask that you don't neglect your various daily activities when you're still a new player. These are both simple and highly lucrative in terms of money making for just how little time they take. I'm talking about things like treasure hunts, daily wildlife photography, and regular non-HSW time trials that pay $100,000 on a weekly cooldown. You can also do the junk energy skydives, junk energy bike time trials, and G's caches, as well as stash houses to bolster the money you earn from Cluck and Bell and No Way Out. For tip number 3, open up your pause menu, go to the online tab, and select invite only lobby right there. Now you're all set to grind the game and make lots of money without having to worry about public lobby pests and griefers. Once you gain some RP and levels, get some nice weapons, and understand the core mechanics of this game, you'll be much better prepared to defend yourself in PvP free roam, and that's when you should spend more time in public lobbies. But until then, save yourself the headache and stick with invite only lobbies. You'll thank me later. Within your very first week, you should have about $7 to $10 million in the bank if you've been grinding Cluck and Bell and No Way Out. And here's what you should do with that cash you've earned. Instead of wasting it on fancy supercars and outfits, buy yourself these 2 things. First, a nightclub, then a bunker. If you have some cash left over, spend it on a Kasatka or an agency business. And with your next $8 to $10 million, buy the necessary upgrades for your businesses. An equipment upgrade, both for your nightclub and your bunker. Maybe get some staff upgrades if you own an MC clubhouse, along with a few biker businesses associated with it. I also recommend a Sparrow to go along with your Kasatka so you can fly around the map really fast and do your Cayo Perico prep missions in no time. Even outside of Cayo itself, a Sparrow is extremely valuable if you want to cover lots of distance in a short amount of time, and it's also the perfect tool for crate grinding or security contracts from your agency. Speaking of which, if you invest in an agency early on, you unlock the Dr. Dre VIP contract, which is not only lots of fun, but you can also make a guaranteed $1.1 million per hour playing it. Now, that's with some practice and some replays. Your first few times will probably be closer to probably 2 hours, but you can cut that down with some fast bikes like the Hakucho drag, and if you get an Oppressor Mark II, the prep missions become even quicker. Also, don't forget your first time playing through, not only can you not skip the cutscenes, but you do have about a 10-minute cooldown between each setup mission that you do just for your first playthrough playing the Dr. Dre contract. Then you also have the legendary Cayo Perico heist, which you get by purchasing the Kasatka, and this pays $1.1 million on average for under an hour of gameplay. By the way, don't listen to the naysayers out there who pretend this heist is the most difficult thing in the entire world, because you know, if you've watched my Cayo Perico guides, that all you really need is a Sparrow and a Phantom Wedge to do the setup missions super fast if you're trying to shave down time. And even if you're new to the game, within your first 5 to even 10 Cayo runs, as long as you follow some basic tricks and skips, you'll be able to bring your completion time down to well under 60 minutes, because it's just not that hard. And if you combine Cayo with the Dr. Dre contract during your grind, you've got one of the most dense money grinds in the entire game, and you're making over $2 million in 2 hours or less. For my next tip here, I'm going to ask you to buy a few service vehicles that will make your life a whole lot easier. First, the Terabyte with its master control control terminal, which you can install for $1.25 million, and it also allows you to control all your passive businesses from one convenient location on the map. You want to resupply your grass farm or counterfeit cash factory? We'll just open up the service menu, summon your terabyte to wherever you are on the map, step in for about 5 seconds and resupply, and it's done. Want to swap out DJs at the nightclub to keep your popularity maxed out for the wall save cash? Again, just spend 5 seconds in the back of your terabyte, and what's cool about doing it like this is you won't have to watch that cutscene that normally plays when you try to swap DJs from inside of your nightclub office itself. You want to upgrade your existing businesses with new staff or equipment? No problem. That too can be done from your terabyte's master control terminal. Just don't try to start sell missions from inside of your terabyte, as these sell vehicles will still spawn outside of the business itself or far away someplace on the shore in the case of MC businesses if you get the dodos or the boats. But for resupplying and monitoring stock levels, the terabyte cannot be beat. Remember, to buy the master control terminal, that's a unique upgrade for the terabyte that's exclusive to owning the garment factory and storing the terabyte there, not just at your nightclub. You cannot outfit the terabyte with the master control terminal when you have it stored in your nightclub. It needs to be at the garment factory because that business is the one that supports the Bureau Tech modifications for it. And here's another service vehicle that you shouldn't really miss out on, especially as a new player, because with the new Mansions DLC, there is no better passive income source in the game. I'm talking about the Acid Lab, which is installed in the back of your Brigade 6x6 armored truck. To get this truck for free, just visit the golden R icon in Sandy Shores, where you'll be introduced to everyone's favorite conspiracy theorist from story mode, Ron, and you'll also meet this lunatic called Dax, who's the leader of a drug gang known as the Fooligans. You'll have to do 6 missions for them as part of the first dose section of the storyline, and on the final one, you get your very own Brigade 6x6. Then you can do 5 more missions as part of the last dose questline, and you'll also get this free Ocelot Virtue, which is an electric supercar that normally costs $3 million if you want to buy it off in-game websites, and it's also one of the best Imani Tech vehicles in the entire game, if not the best Imani Tech vehicle. Using all the money you've earned from your missions and the first time bonuses, install an Acid Lab in the back of your Brigade, and also do 10 Fooligan jobs for Dax to unlock the equipment upgrade. Securing this equipment upgrade for your Brigade 6x6 and Acid Lab is of utmost importance here because you cannot grind the Acid Lab profitably without it, so get on those Fooligan jobs and complete them ASAP. Another awesome thing about this whole Dax storyline is that right from the start, you unlock a free safe house in the game called the Freak Shop, and it comes with its very own Mark II weapons armory. You don't have to pay a single cent to use this armory, and what makes it really beneficial for new players is that they can use it to buy weapons like the Combat MG or Heavy Sniper, which are normally locked behind high level rank requirements. And to really make the most out of the Acid Lab in your bunker, you should also grab yourself a mansion. Every basic mansion purchase in this game comes with a fast travel feature that will teleport you to any warehouse, property, business, or service vehicle of your choosing. Every mansion also comes with a free master control terminal in your office, and lastly, you get this, the Mansion Production Speed Boost, which puts any passive business that you own on that list on a 24-hour steroids program. Production speed goes up by 200%, so businesses like the Acid Lab, which normally take 4 hours to fill up, now need just 1 hour and 20 minutes. Your bunker, which normally takes 2 hours and 20 minutes to process a single resupply that you buy for it, will now do the same in just 45 minutes. A full math lab, which usually takes 6 hours to fill up, will now be ready in just 2. And if you're a serious grinder, I don't exactly have to explain why this is absolutely busted for money making. However, there's a catch with this. Unless you already own your core businesses like the Kazaka, the agency, the MC club, the CEO office, the bunker, the auto shop, the garment factory, the salvage yard, unless you own all of that, I don't really recommend buying a mansion because ultimately it's a force multiplier and not a replacement for actual money generation. It makes $0 on its own is what I'm saying. And so if you just speedrun your way to a mansion, you'll feel bored pretty fast because there's nothing else in the game for you to do. No heists, no contracts, nothing. And even if you have your core businesses, you should still get one very important thing before you start thinking about a mansion. And that thing is the Oppressor Mark II missile bike. This is the #1 grinding tool in the game, has been for a while, and it has no equal when it comes to convenience, agility, and firepower all at the same time. Are the missiles on the Deluxo better? Yes. Is the Sparrow faster in terms of top speed? Also yes. Can the Oppressor Mark II survive a single homing missile? No. But it's not the Mark II's exceptionalism in any single aspect of GTA Online that makes it such a formidable vehicle. Rather, it's the way this flying bike combines so much of everything into one compact package that can be summoned anywhere, immediately, right next to you. It has better homing missiles than jets and helicopters. It does have better agility and a higher top speed compared to the Deluxo. It also is a bike that can fit on rooftops, on the deck of a boat, inside a narrow alleyway, and you don't need to wait for the engine to spool up. You can just hop on and fly away right away like it's a wizard's broomstick. If you asked me to name the ultimate all-around grinding tool in GTA Online, I'd go with the Oppressor Mark II, still to this day, as it combines everything that you actually need as a player into one excellent package. It's expensive, and it has been nerfed in the past, but it's still an excellent vehicle. And now, let's talk about settings in GTA Online. These will help you play better, whether it's PvE or PvP. First, I recommend turning on the complex crosshair so you can learn the bloom patterns for each gun. Also, if you want maximum accuracy and the best movement while shooting, I suggest going into first-person mode. It's especially useful indoors. Then, turn off the various Hollywood camera effects that are enabled by default in this game, like motion blur and depth of field. Now, it's no longer going to feel like you've got Vaseline smeared on the edges of your screen whenever you try to look around really fast. On console, I also recommend either Performance or Performance RT because to me, a steady 60 FPS is way more valuable gameplay-wise than fancy ray tracing effects. Next, go to your camera settings, search for this one that's called the first person on foot field of view, and crank it all the way up to the max. It pulls the camera zoom back and gives you more info on your screen at any given time because your field of view is wider. Then make sure your vehicle camera height is set to high for a better view of the road if you prefer that. And if you overall just enjoy playing this game in first person and you combat roll a lot, disable the first person combat roll. This will temporarily switch you to third person whenever you do a combat roll. So what that's going to do is it means your screen won't flip inside and out, and you can automatically keep track of where your enemies are while moving around, even while combat rolling, because it's not going upside down. And finally, for all you controller players who don't like free aim, make sure your assisted aim is on full if you like playing with that aim assist and auto lock. I'm usually on PC, so I go with free aim as I find it more fun to play with, but if you just can't get into the vibe of it, stick to full auto aim. Okay, now with all the settings stuff out of the way, let's talk about fast cars and bikes for missions. Here I've got two big recommendations: the HSW Hakucho Drag for absolute speed, and the Vigilante for a combination of speed, armor, and firepower. The Vigilante also requires a MOC to modify, so make sure you have a bunker or an MOC if you go down that route, but if you just want to ball out on a budget, either get the Armored Kuruma or the Duke of Death. The latter is free on Warstock Cash and Carry and has more explosive resistance than the Kuruma, which will come in handy for public free roam lobbies. You also need a good weaponized car for public free roam lobbies, and my recommendations are the Toreador for its durability, the Deluxo because it has excellent missiles and can fly, and the Insurgent Pickup Custom if you've got a squad because of that insane minigun turret up on the roof. The HSW weaponized Ignis is also really good, but it has zero explosive resistance, so keep that in mind. And lastly, if you want the most broken weaponized car in the entire game, start up this VIP work mission called Fully Loaded and grab one of the Ruiner 2000 cars that spawn on your map. And now it's time to talk about weapons, both for PvE and PvP. Usually there's a lot of overlap here because the Special Carbine, the Combat MG, and Assault Shotgun are good in either and any scenario, but if you just want to be a true sweatlord in PvP, what you need is a Heavy Sniper Mark II with explosive rounds. And you need to get familiar with strafing as well as combat rolling, because you'll need both of those to survive incoming shots from enemy players. You also need to be able to predict where your opponent will be as they're strafing or rolling around in your scope. Also, you'll need to learn how to quick reload your RPG or homing launcher, which is done by firing at once, swapping to a different weapon, and quickly swapping back to your RPG that you were using. And there you have it, guys. 12 tips and tricks to help you dominate GTA 5 online in 2026. Whether you're a beginner, an advanced player, whether you're playing PvE or just a PvP sweatlord, it doesn't really matter. You'll benefit in all areas of GTA 5 by applying these tips in this video. What I want to know is, do you have any tips of your own that you'd like to share with us? Definitely drop them in the comments below to help some players out. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new and you want to see more content like this. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed and found the information helpful. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushdtv for more GTA Online money grinding live streams. And with all that being said, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios, amigos.